Today I'm going to show you how you can turn your DVD collection from this to this. And as you can see, it's a lot more manageable. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you will know that I collect quite a lot of movies, especially DVDs at the moment, to kind of build up my media library. And I've kind of run out of room now. I have nowhere to put them. I've been storing them back to back, and that isn't ideal because you have to move the front row to get to the back row. And it's just a little bit of a pain in the neck. And I have hundreds and hundreds of movies, so it is kind of a problem now. So I've decided to do something that I really didn't want to do, but I've gone ahead and done it anyway, and I'm quite happy with it, to be honest, now that I've actually done it. But at first it was a little bit daunting. Let me explain. Here we have 40 DVDs in the original boxes, and down here we have 40 DVDs in these plastic sleeves, which I have purchased off Amazon. Here they are. 100 for $15.99, so they are quite cheap when you consider how much you will be paying for each individual sleeve. You won't be paying a lot, so it is quite a cheap way to actually store your movies. Now, if you are a physical media collector, the idea of doing this will probably anger you. I had no option. I'm running out of room. I have nowhere to put them, and I don't want them just all around my house, just in piles. So this was the best solution for me. But a couple of years ago, I did condense my movies into one of these. And in here are around 400 DVDs. And this is a great way to store your movies if you want to save space. There's 400 in here. But I am quite sure that doing this damaged some of my DVDs. Well, especially my Blu-rays. It kind of bent them, I think. Even though to look at the discs, there doesn't seem like there's anything wrong. A lot of my Blu-rays just simply didn't work anymore, or they would work and then they'd get up to a certain point in the movie and they'd skip and jump. But to look at the disc, there was nothing wrong with it at all. And it didn't seem like it was bent either, but that's kind of what I'm going with. I think maybe these can damage the discs, especially these big ones, what hold 400 discs. I think if you're storing them like this especially, I think you can actually bend the discs over time. Now, I've not really had a problem with the DVDs in here, so this is still a way you could store them if you want to. But for me, ever since I did this, I kind of regretted it. I was kind of losing my mind at the time because I had no space and I had DVDs all over the place. So I just kind of went for it and I threw myself into it, and I put them all in these files, and I regretted it like instantly because all my beautiful boxes that I had all my movies in was now gone. I kind of cut out the original artwork and put them in here, but it's not the same at all. And it especially hurts now when I consider that some of the DVDs that I've actually put in here are now worth quite a lot of money. DVDs that have kind of gone out of print and you can't get again, they're worth quite a lot of money with the original boxes, and I'm kind of kicking myself that I actually did this. So I would not recommend doing this if you're a movie collector. Now, another downfall to putting them in these files is you kind of lose the artwork. I know I said I've cut out the artwork, but I've only cut out a portion of it. I like to have the entirety of the artwork, front and back. And this is just the best solution I can find at the moment to store my DVDs. I will say you do lose the spine. The spine is on the front now. You do lose the spine, so when you're looking on your shelf, you can't see what movies you're looking for. So I suggest if you're going to go down this route that I've gone down, put them in alphabetical order. And at the end of the day, you've got the original cover, you've got the discs, and you've got all the space. Okay, so all you simply do is take out the DVD sleeve and fold it so that the spine is on the front, like so. So it looks a little bit neater and a little bit more presentable in the actual plastic wallet. I have seen some people fold the spine down the middle. I don't understand why they would do that. It just looks a lot neater like that. And as you can see, when it's actually in the wallet, it sits nice and flush and it's nice and neat and it fills the entirety of the wallet. And then I simply just take the disc and I just pop it in between the cover, in between the sleeve in the middle, and then fold it up. And there you go. Your movie is now condensed. And here's the original box. And here's your movie in the sleeve. It's so much thinner. Now, this will not be everybody's cup of tea. I appreciate that. I was a bit dubious about doing it in the first place. I really didn't want to be honest, because I like seeing my movies displayed like this. But like I said, if you put them in alphabetical order, you can pretty much find whatever movie you're looking for straight away. And now that I've actually been doing it for a couple of weeks now, I'm actually quite happy with it. I actually like the fact that I can now fit more movies and I can go out and buy more movies and I still have space. Now, like I said before, I know that a few of you who are physical media collectors will absolutely hate this. You'll probably be screaming at your screen right now. You will hate the fact that I've put them into these sleeves. But when you've got a small house and you've got very limited space, what else are you supposed to do? Like I said before, I tried it in the files. I hated it. I regretted doing it. This, I think, is a better solution, and I'm quite happy with this now. I'm quite content with doing this. Of course, there are some Blu-rays and there are some DVD box sets that I have which I will never ever condense like this, because the box art is part of the collection. Like, I've got the Batman the Animated Series, that will never ever ever be going into the plastic sleeves. But if it's a standalone film like this, where you've just got the original artwork, I think it's more than fine and it's more than acceptable, and it just leaves you with so much more space to carry on collecting. Now, not all DVDs are going to be suitable for these little plastic sleeves, and I'm mainly talking about these cardboard releases that came out in the first couple of years of the formats release. These are a little bit more tricky, but it can be done, but you're not going to like it. So now you've got your artwork out and you fold it just like we did with The Greatest Showman, showing the spine on the front, and you're simply left with a little bit too much overhang here, which won't fit into the sleeves. So what I tend to do is actually give it a little bit of a trim on this side. So you're cutting off a little bit of the front cover, but you still have the majority of it. Or what you could do is actually just get rid of the spine and just keep the front and the back. I know a lot of people won't like this, but this is what I do, and I'm perfectly fine with it. As you can see here, I have actually done it with Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome and A Perfect World. I've actually trimmed it up so you can fit it into the sleeve, and they do still look quite nice. I am missing the spine, so I must have done it a little bit differently with these titles. The spine is now on the back, but you can still see the front of the cover, and that is exactly how I like it. I think it is probably better to trim it from the back. Just as you can see there, I've trimmed it a bit from the back instead of trimming it from the front. Okay, so this is where I store my DVDs, and here I have 20 DVDs in a row in their original boxes, and here in the plastic sleeves I have 100 in the exact same kind of space. I have 100 there and 20 there. I just think this is the way forward. This is how many I've done so far, so I've got about 200, maybe a little less, in the plastic sleeves, and I've still got a way to go. As you can see here, I've got all my Blu-rays back to back, which is a bit of a pain, having to move them out and have a look behind. And there's more titles here than there is here, even though they're back to back. But like I said, there are still some, like The Lord of the Rings, Nightmare on Elm Street box set. I won't touch those, I'll keep those in the box sets. But when it comes to the single copies, I am probably going to go over to these plastic sleeves, because just look at that, 20 titles and roughly about 200 titles. That, to me, is just a no-brainer. And as you can see as well, even though there's 100 titles on here, I could still fit a few more, but I think I'm going to leave it at 100 per square. So there you go. I think that is a good way to store your movies. It keeps them safe, it keeps them clean, and it keeps them condensed. What do you think? Let me know.